producers talking to my people, and they're like, if he don't take it, you know, he can't be in the movie. And some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. Taking it. It's not taking it. It's like, okay, can't do the movie. Okay, no problem. With the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club.
So finally, Ice Cube has set the record straight and told the truth of why Hollywood banned him from making movies, claiming that the gatekeepers in the industry used the fact that he had not been vaccinated to kick him out of the productions he was on.
I saw that you'd have to pass on a movie because they wanted you to get shot.
Yeah.
Recently, on Joe Rogan's podcast, rapper Ice Cube detailed how he turned down the $9 million movie role because he wasn't vaccinated. Cube mentioned during the interview how, in Hollywood, all the big production companies made it mandatory for actors to get vaccinated, and he was offered a big chunk of money for a role. But the rapper decided not to get vaccinated.
Producers in Hollywood decided that they don't want anybody on their movie set that haven't gotten.
He claimed that all of a sudden every producer in Hollywood had given a mandate that unless the actors or anyone in the studio had gotten the shot, they were not to work. Ice Cube said this mandate must have come from the studio to hit every producer because every producer doesn't think the same as everyone else, since obviously some producers had their own different opinions. Those individual producers then put the mandate on Ice Cube, telling him and his team that if he doesn't get the shot, he won't be in the movies. And these same producers came to the conclusion that Ice was not taking the vaccine, so he should not be in the movies. Ice Cube claims he didn't have a problem with the lack of work due to his unvaccinated nature, but he was surprised when news articles started coming out of the reason he was not appearing in movies. He said, "Now, I didn't go out telling everybody what happened. I didn't put the word out that I was going to tell people that I wasn't vaccinated. I didn't tell people not to go get vaccinated. I didn't tell people that I'm not doing this movie because I don't want to be vaccinated." But somehow, someway, the news hit. I don't know if Hollywood Reporter or somebody put it out that this is why Cube is not doing the movie. Ice Cube thought it was crazy how, according to HIPAA laws, one was not supposed to reveal another person's medical status, while his had been printed and sold out in copies. Obviously, someone in Hollywood had tipped the reporters since Ice Cube himself and his team never talked about it. He said that the Hollywood Reporter and other well-known Hollywood news sources made it known publicly that he wasn't immunized and lost the movie role as a result, accusing them of disclosing his private medical records without his permission. Every news outlet was talking about how Ice Cube had departed Sony's upcoming comedy, Oh Hell No, in which he would have co-starred with Jack Black after declining a request from producers to get vaccinated. Producers on Oh Hell No made the request that the cast on the project would need to be vaccinated, and so the film pushed back its production start since Black had injured himself while filming a gag for the last episode of Conan, and the studio was looking to find a replacement for Ice Cube, who walked from a $9 million payday. Now Ice Cube might have refused the vaccine, but throughout the pandemic, he kept promoting mask wearing. Bacone College in Oklahoma thanked him and others for a donation of 2,000 face masks to use as personal protective equipment. And in April 2020, amid COVID-19 lockdowns, he unveiled Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself branded t-shirts, featuring the star in a mask in partnership with the manufacturer Blackout, with proceeds to benefit frontline health workers. Ice Cube claimed they tried putting pressure on him to get vaccinated, but that didn't work, he said. They tried to, put my business in the street, put pressure on me. Everybody around me tells me how stupid I am, so I can go get vaxxed and say, please let me do the movie. That was never going to happen. I don't care if it was 20 million. That was never going to happen. Rogan himself also strictly supported Ice Cube's decision and said, and if you got injured from that vaccine, you would have paid that 20 million to be healthy again. Rogan explained that many people were forced to take the COVID-19 vaccine, which wasn't right for various reasons. Previously, Ice Cube had confirmed on an episode of the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast that he lost the $9 million acting role because of his refusal to get the COVID vaccine shot, saying, "I turned down a movie because I didn't want to get the motherfucking jab," Cube said, confirming the reports. "I turned down $9 million. I didn't want to get the jab. Fuck y'all for trying to make me get it. I don't know how Hollywood feels about me right now." When one of the podcast hosts suggested to Cube that he should leave Hollywood for streaming, Cube replied, That's Hollywood thought. They're on some shit. But me too. I'm on some shit too. When he was asked if he would leave Hollywood and make an independent production, he claimed he was working on it and hustling since he has a lot up his sleeve. Ice Cube had also previously joined Mike Tyson on an episode of Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and the pair spoke about several things, the Hollywood ban being one of them. When Tyson's co-host Matt Barnes asked Ice Cube about his upcoming movies, the rapper said, "I'm always working on something. Right now, I didn't get vaccinated, so, Hollywood ended up, not wanting to work with me for a minute because of that." Ice Cube spoke about several topics in the podcast, speaking about how he saw Tyson as a superhero and nothing less, and they also spoke about his project, Mount Westmore, with other rappers like Snoop Dogg, Too Short, and E40. Ice Cube also let Tyson in on his plans for the future. After criticizing Hollywood for not wanting to do anything with him because he is not vaccinated, he added, "Maybe they'll come to their senses, but at the end of the day, we're working on a lot of independent shit in the background." While revealing why Hollywood had banned him and was gatekeeping him, Ice Cube also made a video saying he was not part of the elite Hollywood club that other prominent people were in, and that Hollywood hated him the more for it. Ice Cube said he was not part of the elite Hollywood club that so many others apparently are, and he also aired some grievances about challenges he says he faces because of it. So Ice Cube posted an ominous video where he's talking directly to the camera. And the dude goes on this long rant about being on the outs with the elites and gatekeepers in showbiz and sports, and that he's not part of that crowd, nor does he want to be. Going on to say that his refusal to be a part of the Hollywood elite actually makes folk on the inside angry, because he's resisting a mainstream thing for someone in his position. In the wake of that, Ice Cube said certain groups have been toying with him, and the way he's described it, it sounded like he believed certain hurdles have been thrown up around as backlash to his stance and refusal to join the Inside Club. Cube says he doesn't care, though, because he vows to overcome every hurdle in his way. He also mentioned his Big Three League and said it had grown prosperous despite what he characterized as getting the cold shoulder from powerful institutions, like the NBA. Ice Cube claimed because of his standing in Tinseltown, his Big Three basketball league, which he co-founded with entertainment executive Jeff Quatinetz, is not being given the attention it deserves in mainstream media. He also claimed that his contract with Black America, which called on the NFL to direct more business to Black companies in consumer services, technology, and other business sectors, was also part of the reason his basketball league is being ignored. As a result, Ice Cube said he was planning to do a massive podcast tour in the near future where he talks to everybody. And he made it seem like that itself is going to ruffle feathers as well. He said he was not here for the gatekeepers who are seemingly overlooking his Big Three basketball league ever since he released his contract with Black America ahead of the 2020 presidential election. Ice Cube had previously called on Hollywood studios to implement a form of reparations to help make up for years of mistreatment of Black artists in the entertainment industry. Stepping outside of his usual creative endeavors, Ice Cube helped to pen a document that he named a contract with Black America that sought to address police brutality in the United States and aimed to dismantle larger pockets of systemic racism. Speaking on The Breakfast Club, the artist had touched on several aspects that the contract addresses, and when host Angela Yee asked him about representation in Hollywood, he said he believes Hollywood has mistreated the Black community for years, and studios eager to make up for that should give money to establish Black-run studios so that they can tell their stories unencumbered by the typical Hollywood system. Obviously, this was very brave of him to do, and he has already alleged that this particular contract with Black America was costing him his career and his Big Three basketball league. When explaining the penned contract, he claimed that virtually all the studios in Hollywood contributed to Black people's narrative in their pain and their misrepresentation, and stealing Black people's history and giving it to white people for over 100 years instead of handing these rights over to Black people themselves. He said, "I think these studios that we know and love should kick into a studio that's run by Black people with no outside influences and whose movies and projects are owned by those Black people, those Black artists and directors and writers and people who put the project together should own the projects. Own just a certain amount of money into the studio each year as payment for all the damage they've done to Black people." He noted that he was not advocating for segregation in the entertainment industry, saying that In his hypothetical plan, black artists will still work with major studios like MGM, Warner Brothers, and Universal. He claimed that most of his peers had projects they wanted to do but couldn't, since some white people didn't understand what they were trying to make. And so he thought it best if black creatives could have their own space. He also said Hollywood had to pay for what they did to black people, saying, there needs to be a place where Hollywood pays for what they've done to our people, because cops learn how to kick our asses watching TV when they're little. That's where they learn it. Then they grow up and become cops and they're like, look, I saw this on NYPD Blue, so that's how you do it. In my opinion, Ice Cube's bluntness, his refusal to be a part of Hollywood, and his refusal to get vaccinated seem to be among many other reasons why Hollywood is gatekeeping him from projects and banning him from others. A fan said, all companies and hospitals that fired people for the illegal #COVID vaccine mandates and those that were injured by said mandate should sue all of them. Ice Cube banned from Hollywood for not getting vaxxed. Another commented, what's up with Ice Cube saga? Turns out his product, 3-on-3 basketball, being threatened by NBA and Adam, Zio Silver. Saga began when Ice Cube divulged he turned down a Hollywood job because they were forcing the jab. And we know Zios are behind this poison and don't give a damn about anyone. So why do you think Hollywood is gatekeeping Ice Cube? Is it because he doesn't want to be a part of them, or is there something deeper they are trying to hide? Tell us in the comments section. Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it. Bye.